So the first one is F, faith. Second one, E. I'd like to draw your attention to the discourse that Swami gave in 1947, the letter that Swami wrote in 1947 to his brother, Seshamaraju. In that letter, Swami has written very clearly, of course, he said several things, Akilamanavaluku Anandamanagochi, Rakshinchi Chundate Dikshanako, and several other things. But then the fourth thing that he says is that I have a unique definition of devotion. I'm reading here. Those devoted to me have to accept success and failure, victory and defeat with equanimity. So this E stands for equanimity. The formula to fight fear, the second alphabet, is equanimity. I'd encourage you to read that letter that Swami has written. It's available online. It's also printed in Satyam Shivam Sundaram. It's available in Chaitanya Jyoti Museum, in several places. You'll know exactly the kind of depth in Swami's message and how we can practice all that he has said there. In the Prashanti Vahini, Swami says, and I'll quote here, when losses occur, calamities come, or plans go awry, the devotee blames the Lord. Some, on the other hand, pray to him to save them. If you avoid both of these, as well as the reliance on others, if you place complete faith on the Lord at all times, why should he deny his grace to you? This is from the Prashanti Vahini. I quote from there. This is a very interesting analogy that Swami had given in Trai Vrindavan. The students were sitting around Swami in Trai Vrindavan, and Swami was asking them again question and answer. So there was this particular situation Swami gave. We have the situation analysis in entrance examinations for jobs and other things, higher education. So Swami said there is this situation. There is this farmer whose crops are requiring rain, and hence he is praying to God that let it rain, because otherwise he will not have a good harvest. If he does not have a good harvest, how will his family survive, and how will all his hard work of several months is dependent on the rains. On the other side, in the same village, there is going to be a marriage, and this father of a particular daughter, the bride who is going to get married, is praying to God, oh God, please ensure that there is no rain. So one part of the village says, oh God, please ensure that there is rain. The other part of the village is saying, please, oh God, ensure that there is no rain. What should God do? Swami asked the students. So the students started discussing among themselves, what should God do? What should God do? And then in that particular question and answer, everybody gave different perspectives. So some said livelihood is very important. If this man if the rains do not come, his crops will get destroyed. What will happen in the future? So on and so forth. So there should be rains. The other side student said, oh, but marriage is very important. If there are rains, then how will this particular marriage party, the function get well? And after all, you get married only once in life, hopefully. So God better ensures that the devotee's prayer is heard. Now it was the time for Swami to give the answer. So Swami said, okay, now it's my turn. In this case, Swami said, both are wrong. A farmer is wrong and the father of the bride is wrong. The real devotee will pray, oh God, you know what is in my best interest. You know what is also in the best interest of the whole world. So let thy will prevail. I have only one prayer. Samasta lokaha sukhino bhavantu. Swami said, that is the true quality of a devotee. He is equanimous in all situations. He leaves it to God. You decide what is good for me. You are the doer. You are the recipient. You are the one who is facilitating everything. I am not praying for anything. I am only praying for your grace, so that not only me but everything and everybody is well taken care of. Who is an example of this kind of equanimity? And there is one person who comes to my mind, one heroic figure who comes to my mind as a great example of equanimity is Lord Rama himself. There is no discourse where Swami has not praised Rama. Rama is not a figure that needs to be looked at as a as a figure belonging to the scriptures. Some say mythology, some say scriptural figures, whatever. Rama is a living example of the ideal of Sanatana Dharma, of the ideal of the culture and values this great civilization has offered to the world. And what is that ideal? That in good situations and bad, one must not move away from the path of Dharma. On the morning when he was going to be coronated as the emperor of Ayodhya and the Kaushala kingdom, he was sentenced to 14 years in the forest. The same enthusiasm with which he was ready for the coronation, the same enthusiasm he had for going to the forest in order to fulfill his dharma. How many of us are able to take our difficult situations in life with this kind of equanimity? Incidentally, in these days of lockdown in India, there is a 21-day lockdown, and we are all expected to be home. Nobody is expected to go out except for getting basic fundamental groceries or medicines or whatever, but otherwise you're all home. All transportation, domestic, international, intercity, intracity, everything is shut for 21 days. So I was thinking, what should I do? What should I do? Of course, I'm writing a book on the occasion of Swami's 95th birthday, but along with that, I also thought I should revisit some of the earlier lessons that I have kind of learned from some of these scriptures. So I was inspired that let me start watching the Ramayana. I started watching the Ramayana, the Ramayana serial, which was shown in India in the 1980s. It's available on YouTube, and I finished about 18 episodes. And today I read in the papers that the government of India has decided to telecast the same serial for the benefit of everybody on the national channel twice a day, morning and evening, so that everybody can use their time fruitfully and relive their learnings and scriptural lessons of the old days. So, coincidence, whatever you may call it, but these are the kind of examples of our great spiritual civilization and values which we should be looking up to, that how can this equanimity be practiced. We always end up blaming God for whatever happens to us. Swami had once said in Trai Vrindavan, 9th April 1999, Swami said, you know, God is like a postman. Do you blame the postman for the contents of the letter that you come across, that you receive? No. Do you reward the postman if the contents of the letter are extremely joyous? No. You say, okay, I've got an appointment letter. Here, this is the reward for you. You say, why should I reward the postman? I have worked for it. It's my achievement. The postman has no role to play. Similarly, if the postman brings in a sad news, will you be cursing the postman for the contents of the letter? Oh, because of you I have been fired, or because of you I incurred this loss, or because of you I have got this particular ticket for traffic violation, signal violation. No, he's not responsible for that. Similarly, Swami said, God is like the postman. You are responsible for the contents of the letter that come to you. You are responsible for the reactions that you face in your life. The action gives reaction. It is a matter of time how much that reaction takes, but it will come to you. Don't blame God. Focus on the actions that you need to undertake in order to ensure that your spiritual journey is on its tracks. And have the firm conviction that whatever happens is good for us. We have this tendency of analyzing everything that's happening to us and trying to put on our thinking hats. Oh, this must be the reason for this. Oh, this is what Swami must have willed. Oh, this is what Swami's plan must be. It's like the fish which is swimming in the ocean. It sees the reflection of the lightning in its habitat and says, oh wow, I have understood the complexity of how this lightning works, and hence makes declarations that that's how the lightning works. We are just like the fish. Just because we see some glimpses of divinity and our experiences to some extent, we presume that we know how God is working. We know His will, we know His ways, etc. That is not the way it should be. We have to have full focus on our actions. The Gita says, and we have done that, we have repeated that ad nauseum so many times, banally, karmanneva adhikaraste mahaphaleshu kadachana. But have we reflected on that? That we have power only over our karmas, over our actions. We have no power over our results. 2003, Kodai Swami had said, you complain that results don't come when I expect them. It will not come when you expect. because everything comes at the right time. If you cut your finger, the blood will start oozing out immediately. But the same blood takes 4 hours to form after you have consumed your meals. When you are going to sow a seed, when you sow a seed, it takes several years before the first flower blossoms on that particular tree. But it takes a few weeks for that flower to become a fruit and fall from the branch for your consumption. So everything will take its own time, but the Dharma Chakra, which is the symbol of Buddhism, which is also there in our Sarva Dharma symbol, symbolizes that this deed and destiny, this Dharma Chakra constantly presides over that. So ever be on the path of Dharma and be conscious of this law of deed and destiny and focus on your deeds and leave the destiny to the divine will. That is what we need to be careful of. How do we do that? The Bhagavad Gita says, Nishkama Karma. Do not have any expectations of karma. Whatever you do, do it for the sake of karma. Whether I will win this war or not, whether I will win this deal or not, whether I will pass this exam or not, whether I will succeed in this particular race or not, should not be your concern. Your concern should be on the action that you are undertaking. Now, it's extremely difficult because how do you focus on actions when you're so used to and trained in focusing on outcomes? So Swami made it simple. He said, don't look at it as Nishkama Karma, look at it as Pavitra Karma. What is Pavitra Karma? Sarva Karma Bhagavad Prityartham. Do everything that you do as an offering to God. Whatever you do, you're doing it for Swami. You're making chapatis in the kitchen, it is for Swami. You're writing your exam, it is for Swami. You're doing business, it is for Swami. You're driving the car to reach your, everything is for Swami. You're doing everything for divinity. Then you will absolve yourself of the good and bad outcomes. You will not even expect the outcomes and you will remain equanimous because your focus is on action, not on the results. That is the way to overcome fear. E of equanimity is the way to overcome fear.